What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I have to be honest with you, because this is genuinely one of those videos that hurts a little bit to make. Because right now, coming out of the Patriots' mandatory minicamp this week, a report has dropped that has put the football world on notice about a key player whose time in New England could be coming to an end sooner than anyone expected. And when you understand the full story behind this situation, the contract numbers involved, and exactly what happened the last time the Patriots faced a nearly identical scenario with a beloved receiver, the sadness of this story becomes very real and very urgent. So let us break down everything happening right now, because this is the kind of news no fan wants to receive, but every fan needs to hear. Let us start with the headline that broke just days ago and sent shockwaves through Patriots Nation, because this report came from one of the most credible NFL analysis outlets in the sport and identified two specific Patriots players who are in genuine danger of being cut before the 2026 season begins. And the name at the top of that list: the player whose situation is most complicated, most urgent, and most emotionally loaded for this fan base right now, is Kayshon Boutte. Now, for weeks, we have been tracking the Boutte storyline as it related to trade speculation following the A.J. Brown acquisition, and he showed up to mandatory minicamp, said all the right things publicly about wanting to stay in New England, and appeared to be competing hard for his spot. But the cold, hard reality of the NFL roster math is now closing in on him in a way that is genuinely difficult to ignore. The report was direct and unflinching. With A.J. Brown completely transforming the receiver room hierarchy, Romeo Doubs locked in as a significant financial investment at number 2, and Mac Hollins providing the size, blocking ability, and special teams value that coaches trust to keep a veteran on the roster, the competition for the final flexible receiver spots is brutal. And Boutte, despite his genuine production in 2025, finds himself in a position where he is seen as useful but not essential. Those 5 words, useful but not essential, are the most dangerous words in the NFL vocabulary for any player trying to secure their roster spot. Useful gets you practice squad consideration. Essential gets you on the 53-man roster. And right now, Boutte is navigating that terrifying line between the two. But here's the layer of this story that cuts even deeper than the roster math, and it is the contract element that truly determines Boutte's fate. He is entering the final year of his rookie contract, earning $3.674 million in 2026 with zero guaranteed money remaining after this season. For a player in that position, every single day of training camp, every preseason snap, every practice rep is essentially a live audition for both his spot on this roster and his value in a potential trade. The report specifically noted that being in the final year of a rookie deal makes Boutte a trade candidate regardless of his performance level, because the Patriots have to weigh whether keeping him as a depth piece is more valuable than packaging him for something they need more urgently elsewhere on this roster. And ESPN's Mike Reese confirmed just this week that offensive guard depth is sitting at the top of New England's organizational needs list, which means there is a very real possibility that Boutte gets moved to help address a position group the front office has explicitly identified as a priority. And now, here's the storyline that makes this whole Boutte situation feel hauntingly familiar to every single Patriots fan who has been paying attention this offseason. Because what just happened to Stefon Diggs is the clearest possible warning about how brutally transactional this organization is willing to be when the financial math demands a difficult decision. The Yardbarker report that dropped this week told the full story in extraordinary detail. Diggs signed a 3-year, $69 million deal with New England in March of 2025. He delivered. He posted 85 catches, 1,013 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. He became the first Patriots wide receiver in 6 years to crack 1,000 yards in a season. He helped drag this organization back to relevance and stood on the Super Bowl LX field, having given everything he had for this team. And then the confetti had barely been swept off that field before the phone call came telling him the franchise was done with him. Not because he could not play, not because he had lost a step, but because his 2026 base salary was set to balloon from $2.9 million all the way to $20.6 million. A jump baked into the structure of his deal from day one that the Patriots could walk away from by simply releasing him and absorbing a fraction of that cost in dead cap. Production did not protect Stefon Diggs. Championship-level performance did not protect him. The spreadsheet opened, the math did not work, and a four-time Pro Bowler who had just helped take this team to the Super Bowl was gone. If that can happen to Stefon Diggs, every single Patriots fan needs to understand that it can happen to anyone. The second player identified as being in danger of getting cut after minicamp is Demario Douglas, and his situation is in some ways even more precarious than Bout's. Douglas does not have Bout's production numbers to point to. He does not have the trade value that comes with Bout's age and upside. He is a smaller, slot-oriented receiver who brings a different body type and skill set than the other receivers on this roster, but in a room now featuring A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, Mac Hollins, Boot, Kyle Dixon, and Efton Chisholm all competing for snaps, Douglas's path to meaningful targets has become extraordinarily narrow. The report noted that without pads, without preseason game pressure, and without real game plan evaluation, mandatory minicamp cannot definitively tell us who makes this roster and who does not, but it can absolutely clarify how the coaching staff views roles. And the signals coming out of Foxborough regarding the back end of this receiver room are not encouraging for either Boot or Douglas. The Christian Gonzalez contract situation also looms over all of this like a financial storm cloud that has not yet broken open. Yardbarker confirmed just days ago that New England is currently embroiled in a contract dispute with their young superstar cornerback, with the Patriots having picked up his fifth-year option, and Gonzalez and his representatives pushing for a long-term extension that resets the cornerback market north of $30 million annually. Ian Rappaport said there is a good chance the deal gets done before the season, but the operative phrase there is a good chance, not a certainty. If that extension does not get finalized before training camp opens on July 24th, the Gonzalez situation is going to become the dominant story of this entire summer, overshadowing every roster battle and every depth chart competition until the moment papers get signed. And every dollar committed to a Gonzalez extension is a dollar that makes the financial picture for players like Boot and Douglas even more complicated heading into cutdown day. The bottom line as of June 17th, 2026, is that this Patriots roster is going through the most painful and most necessary part of the championship building process. The moment where the team you build in March and April has to become the team you field in September, and not everyone gets to make that journey together. Kayshon Boot showed up to minicamp, competed hard, and said he wants to be in New England. Demario Douglas has done everything asked of him since arriving on this roster. But the NFL is a business. The cap is finite. The receiver room is genuinely overcrowded, and Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf have proven all offseason long that they are willing to make the hard call when the situation demands it. Stefon Diggs learned that lesson the hard way. Boot and Douglas are staring down that same reality right now. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell, because between the Gonzalez extension standoff, the Boot and Douglas roster battles, and training camp opening on July 24th, this Patriots story is nowhere near finished and every development matters. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think Kayshon Boot survives final cuts and makes this 53-man roster, or does he get traded before training camp even opens? Let me hear it. Like this video, share it with every Patriots fan you know, and I will catch you in the very next one. Let us go New England.